Hi everyone, my name's David, and today I want to explore how psychology helps us understand human behavior, not just through one lens, but by combining many different perspectives. This brings us to something called the biopsychosocial model, which I think is one of the most useful frameworks in psychology and especially in healthcare. So, what is the biopsychosocial model? Let's break it down. The biopsychosocial model is focused on more than just biology and medicine. It considers three dimensions that work together: our biology, psychology, and social environment. Biopsychosocial. The biological factors include things like genetics, brain chemistry, and physical health. The psychological factors focus on thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and mental health. And then social factors are all about relationships, culture, socioeconomic status, and the environment. So instead of just blaming one cause when someone's struggling, like saying it's all in your head or it's just your genetics, the biopsychosocial model asks, how are these different parts of this person's life interacting with each other? To give you an example, imagine someone is dealing with depression. Biologically, they might have a family history of depression or low serotonin levels. Psychologically, they might be stuck in a cycle of negative thoughts. And socially, maybe they feel isolated or unsupported by their family or friends or any of the people around them. All of that sort of combines to create the person's overall experience. And understanding that helps us support them more effectively. Now that we've talked about the model, I want to go over three psychological theories that I think are super interesting and show you how they all fit into the biopsychosocial approach. So the first one I want to talk about is cognitive behavioral theory, or CBT. This theory is based on a simple but powerful idea. Our thoughts influence how we feel and how we behave. Let's just say a student thinks, I'm going to fail this class. That one thought can lead to anxiety or hopelessness, which might make them avoid studying. And it could actually lead to a failing grade. CBT helps people become more aware of these negative thought patterns and teaches them to reframe them. That same student could learn to think, this is a tough class, but I've done hard things before. This fits into the biopsychosocial model because negative thinking patterns are psychological, but they could be influenced by social pressure, like unrealistic expectations, perhaps made by family members, or biological predispositions like anxiety disorders. It's all connected. The second theory I want to go over is attachment theory. This theory looks at how the bonds we form with others, or especially with our caregivers as children, shape our emotional development and even our adult relationships. If a child grows up in a secure and loving environment, they tend to feel safe exploring the world and trusting others. But if a child experiences neglect, inconsistency, or trauma, they might develop an insecure attachment style, like being avoidant, anxious, or even fearful in adult relationships. This theory connects perfectly to the biopsychosocial model with the biological part being how the child is temperamental and sensitive to things around them. The psychological part is how they learn to manage emotions and trust, and the social part is their home life, their parenting style, the style of parenting they experienced, and the early relationships that they had with people around them. It reminds us that emotional health starts early and that healing often means looking at both the past and the present. And the third theory I want to go over is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is a theory of human motivation created by Abraham Maslow, who organized human needs into a pyramid with 5 levels. At the bottom are your basic psychological needs, or basic physical needs, like food, water, shelter, things like that. Then you have safety. This is about your stability and security. Then you have love and belonging. These are, close relationships, friendships, romance, things like that. Esteem, which are things that sort of make you feel more like you're living up to standards that you've set for yourself and that others have set for you. And then self-actualization, which is about reaching your full potential as a person. What I love about this theory is how it so clearly it connects to everyday life. For example, think about someone who's homeless. If they're struggling to find food or a safe place to sleep, they're stuck at the bottom of the pyramid. They're probably not going to focus on goals like college or creative expression because survival comes first. On the other hand, if someone has all their basic needs met and a good support system, they're more likely to thrive and grow as a person. This very clearly connects to the biopsychosocial model because, from the biological needs, you need things like food and rest. That covers the bottom of the pyramid. Psychological, you need more hope and purpose. Those are sort of the upper levels of the pyramid. And then for your social needs, you need belonging and support. And that also covers some of the upper levels of the pyramid. So Maslow's theory just helps to remind us that mental health isn't just about what's in your head. It's about your whole life context. So what really stood out to me while learning about these theories is just how connected everything is. Our brains, our thoughts, our relationships, and even our access to, food, housing, and our basic needs all help to shape who we are. The biopsychosocial model brings all of that into focus and reminds us to look at the whole person, not just a diagnosis or a behavior. That's what makes psychology so powerful and relevant. All right. Thanks for listening. I hope this gave you a better understanding of how these theories work and how they help us to care for ourselves and others in a more complete and compassionate way. Thank you.